What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again for another episode of Lights, Camera. It's actually Natalie G and Dean the Dream collects tonight. No, Mr. Kiko collects. He's actually on a boat somewhere. He sent me a couple videos here and there. He posted them on the gram. I told him I'm not so sure that I could do a cruise because I've seen, I don't know if y'all have seen it or remember, Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship was fucking wild. Everyone on the ship gets cut in half with a wire. So after that, there was no cruises.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that, Dean? Remember that show or that movie? And then also, y'all have seen Life of Pi. You know how that goes. So Pi is on a cruise. He gets stranded with a tiger on a boat. Not saying that would happen to me, but I've seen too many things go wrong with cruises. So Kiko's safe and well, although he is losing sleep over getting an Artisan Anakin email. I will say that. Like Natalie, literally, he woke up like in a cold sweat. He told me because he got an email from Sideshow, but it wasn't Artisan Anakin. It was something else, and he was worried that he's going to miss the waitlist conversion.
Oh my God,
poor guy.
I know, right?
Dean, he's not the same. He's going through a lot of trauma with it. So he's when mine converted when I was in Tennessee, he was so upset. He was so distraught. So
yeah.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to the chat. We're going to address the chat as soon as we can. That said, we got to address our wonderful panel, our Avengers level panel, as always. And guys, we're going to talk about a lot of cool topics. We're going to talk about Marrok, the Grail to rule all grails. We'll talk about some other cool stuff. And Predator finally went up for pre-order, so I'm really excited about that. But before we get to all that, Natalie G, how are you doing this fine Friday? I think Florida's the same time zone as me, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we're Eastern.
Yeah, exactly.
Eastern.
Okay, so I don't know my geography very well, but is Florida is it dark there now? Because it gets dark here like 4 o'clock now.
It is. It's completely dark right now. So I'm like trying to figure out ways to light up this room because I don't even have good windows in here. So I apologize if it gets pretty dark in here, but the other day I was driving to work and I'm so used to driving during like sunrise and now I'm driving during complete dark. So, but I'm doing good, just kind of getting through life right now. I have a very busy job. So every time you ask me on the chat, I'm like, oh yeah, I will love to go. And then like an hour before I'm like, I'm scrambling to try and get everything done at work so I can be here. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm stuck in a meeting as I'm getting my, cameras and lights going for the hopefully nobody I work with knows about your channel.
Okay. Well, you have to tell them. Just put like a little business card or something. I don't know. Do something.
Yeah, we'll wait for a little bit and then we'll tell them.
Now, we're going to tell the people, by the way, about your autograph collection now. Because by no means, I was not an intervening factor whatsoever. I will just say that, there's a signing going on at Star Wars Autograph Universe for Arthur Morgan, Roger Clark. So if you're a Red Dead fan, check that one out. But Natalie and I, we made some investments. So
the worst person ever, everybody. Just
the worst influencer ever.
Yeah. Like by definition, influencer. Then you just see your face right there. So, but no, it's really good. I actually really appreciated that. As soon as I went on, I won't take up any more time. But as soon as I went on and I saw, I'm like, I'm gonna get it. This one and this one and this one. And Ty, I was like, what do you think? And she's like, you're not getting any of those. You gotta get rid of those. But it was really good. So nice. I'm officially an art print collector.
Nice. Well, I trust Ty. Yeah. See, Dean, there we go. I've expanded Natalie's horizons. So yeah, it's I'll take credit for that one. But Dean, dude, how you doing, man? Looking as beautiful as ever, as sexy for the ladies as ever, bro. Your house is beautiful too. I'm sure it is. And I'd love to come to Texas and live on your ranch with you. So let me just throw that out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And shoot some guns.
Dude, I've never shot a gun. Will you teach me how to shoot?
Yeah. Me and Zach will do it.
Nice. As long as Oxdaddy's there.
So
I got 3 right in front of me right now.
We're really going to have to plan this out. So I was in the Navy. And when I was in the Navy, I was a marksman. I didn't make
No way.
Absolutely.
Allie, you should come to Texas then.
I just got back from Texas.
Oh, shit. Well, I should have gone then.
I had a great time. I was working, but it was a great time. So now that I know Dean has a ranch, I'm going to take my Arthur Morgan prints. I'm coming to Dean's house.
There you go. Yeah, it's about, I think, right under 60 acres.
Damn.
Wow. That's nice.
Dude, I live on I think 9 acres, and that's plenty. Trust me. And 60 though, damn, that's balls.
Yeah, and it's really nice because we own part of the creek, and then like literally like 5 minutes down the road is a winery, and then next to that is a barbecue restaurant.
Damn, dude.
So I never have to leave if I don't.
No, you could live on like a compound out there, dude.
Yeah,
That's like,
so it's really nice up there, but
yeah,
that's about like an hour away from where I live, but that's pretty close.
not too bad, I guess.
Yeah. So
Dean, did you get your Game Toys Cloud invoice yet?
no, I have not.
Dude, they're at like 60% right now, so you got to be in the next batch. Yeah. Natalie, that's basically the way he is about Cloud is what you are about Arthur Morgan.
I thought you already had that one.
I do, but Dean doesn't have his yet.
Oh, so you had the first version.
Well, I had both. So like they have the new version, the Advent Children version, but Dean hasn't got his because they're kind of in-arting it basically.
So
they're releasing in batches.
But Dean had the first version.
Yeah,
I have, yeah, Dean has the first version. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's waiting on this new one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But he's waiting on this new one. But Dean's also committed a sin because he doesn't have the seamless arms on that Cloud. So that's, he's...
No, because I saw people, even like slight bends, people's arms were cracking.
All right, but you don't even have yours with the arm slightly bent.
Yeah.
That's true.
I told him, I was like, you got to live a little, bro. You got to live a little.
Yeah. But I have my whole Final Fantasy 7 collection right
It's true.
there.
Dean's the Final Fantasy 7 man of everyone. So Last of Us, Red Dead, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I feel terrible about this. The only Final Fantasy interaction that I've ever had was with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay. That's still good though.
That's Tetsuya Nomura. He convolutes everything, so you're good.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining to both of you guys. Let's address some of the chats real quick. We got Flash Messy 10 in the chat. Happy Friday. Sorry I missed the last two streams. Bro, no problem, man. Hopefully you can catch this one. I'm glad you're here. Luis Jimenez, thank you so much, bro. Natalie G, Will, and Dean, the dream, the ladies man himself. Good to have both of them here. Loki final episode was a 10 out of 10. I'm going to have to agree, actually. I would love to talk about Loki tonight. However, I think it might be too soon, especially with all the spoilers out there. So we'll probably save that for next one. I will just say, there are almost certainly going to be some figures coming. Let's just say that. But the final episode was fantastic. This is one of the best seasons of television of any show. I'm willing to put that out there. Love it. Marvel or otherwise. Dinesh, thank you so much for joining, bro. Channel member Dinesh, good to see you. Christian is here. Rome Moreno is here. Collector Joey on his commute home. Good to see you, bro. Guys, check out Collector Joey. Neilerific, good to see you, bro. Draw the Line 35 is here. Let's see. Guillermo is here. Good to see you, bro. Let's roll. I know we were like 2 minutes behind. Black Order Collectibles, what's up? What's up? Akira is here. What's up, Akira? Good to see you. Nathan Alker, the nicest man in all of collecting. The man himself is here. Richard Y. We need a Loki from season 2. Yeah. And Carlos putting out in the chat, there hasn't been there countless movies about airplanes crashing. You still fly. Yes, but that's different. I feel like
statistically it's still the safest way to travel.
Yeah, that's true. I probably wouldn't survive either way, but
I mean, there's also not movies about airplanes where somebody has like a line that goes and straight cuts through a bunch of people.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, there's Flight. That was pretty wild with Denzel. That was where like everyone was like flipping around and stuff. And there's the boys scene that was pretty wild. So, yeah, that's pretty true. We got a super chat from Carlos already. Carlos said, "I'm a big dig collector. I don't know what that means. And last weekend, I met the voice actor for Sephiroth and Cloud and Joel. Cloud." And I don't know if he meant Reva. I don't know. Cloud is less than Reva. I don't do. Wow. I think he's trying to mess with Dean. But I will say, Carlos. I think he sent me a picture of he met Troy Baker, the Joel actor, and I think that's pretty awesome. So was that you, Natalie? Dropped something. Nice. I thought it was D when he went off camera. Nope. So, but thank you so much, Carlos. Dude, I'm super jelly about him meeting. Living in California has its perks. It's where all the shit happens. So. But anyway, guys, let's not waste any more time. Thank you to Carlos for the super chat. Let's address our first topic. Hot Toys Marrok from Ahsoka season 1. I wanted to say season 2, but it's Ahsoka season 1. It almost feels like a season 2. But we got our first figure in recent, at least from the Ahsoka line. One of the figures actually that I don't think many of us were actually expecting. This was one that kind of just popped up out of nowhere. A lot of people, there's a little bit of controversy about this one. Not that it's a bad figure. It's just that, was this the right choice for Hot Toys? Was this the right choice for collectors? And I think there's the very clear, simple answer of this was probably a very inexpensive figure to make. There's no likeness. It's probably not that expensive in terms of production. So overall, you know what? It's kind of like a cool little Sith trooper thing. I don't know, like a Dark Jedi, whatever. But I guess Inquisitor, whatever you want to call him. But overall, I mean, I think it does look like a cool figure. But for $265, this could be a tough ask for collectors in a market that is a little bit saturated, especially with Star Wars and other stuff. But my question is, should we be grateful? Because I think the point, like I said, the point of contention, Natalie, that I want to bring into this is, I asked the question of collectors, and a lot of people, I think it was 2-1, voted Hot Toys should focus on other characters instead of the Marrok from Ahsoka. So they want other characters. But should we be grateful that we're getting this at all, is my question. And just overall, your general thoughts on this Marrok. What do you think about it?
So I think Marrok is one of the characters that's like, hot take, I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think this suit is so cool. I really like, if it were up to, if I just started collecting and I had very little characters like filled up in my collection, I would definitely get this. Like, this to me looks like one of those Star Wars characters that are very rare. You're not going to see it very often. I really liked it. I did. As soon as I saw it, I was looking through the photos. He looks like a full guy in a suit. So a lot of the time, Hot Toys makes some of the characters where they look just like figures, but sometimes it looks like a guy in a suit, and those are my favorite ones. This is one of those where it looks like a guy in a suit, and then he's got the armor. It almost looks like 18th century or something. I don't know. I really think it's a very awesome design. Like, I'm looking at the photos right now that you're sharing. It's part of me really loves this. I don't even care much about Marrok himself, but I really like this. I've actually bought quite a few figures in the past that I don't care about the character, like Arkham City. I don't play Batman games. I like the Flash. The Flash is probably the only DC character that I enjoy because I like that story. And I know that Deathstroke is a major villain in the Flash's story. Yeah. And I bought Deathstroke from the Arkham game just so I could have him because he looks so awesome. His ribbons, everything. He just super awesome figure. And this is one of those, and I still have that, right? So this is one of those figures where I think it's an amazing companion piece. But if you don't watch this show and like this character, and this person is on your shelf, it's like, oh, this looks like a knight. You could put him next to like Queen Elizabeth, and he looks like a knight of London, like without the saber. He just looks like
a knight of London,
right? He has an old rusty armor London look. So sure. I mean, he's really neat. I really like the armor. I like all the detail. Look at that. Look at the rust. That's so cool. Like, every part of this is really cool. Is it Star Wars cool, or is it just cool? That's
without the lightsaber. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Like, this is someone you could put next to a horse and you would not know where he's from.
You could put a sword in his hand and not a lightsaber. and yeah, you could. Yeah.
Right. You put a cape on him. He's like, oh, this is the Knights of the Round Table right here. This guy. He's
I guess the little buttons on there would be a little bit of a giveaway, but short of that.
A giveaway to what?
I mean, it looks sci-fi. You know what I mean? It looks kind of science fiction.
Yeah. He definitely looks. And I forgot it was Riley's channel. So Riley, he had, I think, Nick's Collectors on there, and he was saying, oh, this is what Kylo Ren could have looked like. This is what Kylo Ren could have been. I know. I knew that would have triggered you. He's like, this is what Kylo Ren could have been, and now look at it. We gave it to Marrok, but Kylo Ren could have been this cool. I don't really know that Kylo Ren and him do have some similarities, but I don't know that if you put the two of them on the shelf, I think a lot more people are going to know that Kylo Ren is from Star Wars, and a lot less people are going to think this is from Star Wars unless they watched it. So I don't know. I think, should we be grateful? I'm never going to say no to that. I think everyone has a niche. Everybody likes what they like. And if you make it, great. But make it in small batches. Don't impact or don't prevent other things from coming out faster because you're making a buttload of these. Make a small batch, and as long as it doesn't impact like the bigger load, then yeah, I think so. It's so cool.
I mean, I gotta say, Natalie, I do think this figure, and I know Kiko said this pretty eloquently, and I do agree. I think this figure is the definition of not for me, but it's cool. You know, I think that's like, if you looked up literally the dictionary definition for collecting of what that would be, it would be this figure, because it looks really cool. It looks like a really cool figure. And again, I've maintained consistently, I would buy a Knight of Ren. I might be the only one that would buy one. Probably no one else would, but I just think they're really cool looking, and I would love to have one. I think if you had this on your shelf and you put it in the right pose, like one of the poses in these announcement photos, I think it would look really cool. I think this would be a really cool figure. So Dean, I want to let you jump in on this one. I mean, this Marrok, I mean, should we be grateful we're getting these produced at all? But I think Natalie's onto something. I mean, I think this almost certainly will be a low batch. I don't think this, because at 265, I think people will place their priorities elsewhere, despite how cool this looks. What do you think, Dean?
Yeah, there's just so many other things I'd rather have from the Ahsoka show. Draw the line in the chat said it best. This character was so interesting until it wasn't. Like,
yeah,
he was mysterious. He was fucking badass. He went toe to toe with Ahsoka. It was like, damn, this dude, like, who is this? Everyone thought it was Ezra at first.
Right.
Like, why is he so good at fighting? And then it was just a big old nothing burger. It was like, what the hell? He was just smoke. Yeah, I mean, I think Natalie said it best. You can't not be grateful for something, especially from the Star Wars line. People love Star Wars. People want to fill every hole. Pause. In their
wait. I gotta say, can I just say it? That's what she said.
There we go, Natalie. You can say that. Yep. Legally, you can say that.
Yeah, legally, I can say it.
They want to, put figures in their collection where, Star Wars is a very expansive line with a deep roster.
That's what she said.
Dean is just on a roll, dude.
So
shouldn't have got Natalie here with Dean, bro.
So there's
and then also you got Mike Clitoris in the chat.
Mike Clitoris down below.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
there's
Dean,
definitely this is for somebody for sure.
Yeah,
somebody
for sure.
wanted this. I would buy it, but like, I don't know. It's like number 8 in the line. You know what I mean? There's other stuff I'd rather get. So, yeah, it's unless it was like a really good like bargain deal, I don't see myself picking it up. So, anytime soon, rather.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Objectively, it's a badass looking figure. It's gonna pose really well. You don't have to worry about the suit flaking or creasing. It's you could futz it in a line with Kylo Ren. I think that would look really cool, like a Knight of Ren.
You could almost make him look like a Knight of Ren. He looks like that. Yeah.
And like you said, put a sword in his hand. It could just be a knight. Like if you had like maybe if you posed him facing the other way, so you don't see the chest area. But yeah, it's cool. I like how he kind of when you look at Balin Skrull, Shin Hati, and him, whereas Jedi are usually kind of portrayed as like samurai. They're more of like knights, like classic. I mean, even Balin swings like a claymore instead of like a traditional lightsaber. So it's definitely badass.
Like I know what a claymore is, but
a two-handed sword, like a big one,
okay,
as opposed to a long sword, which is
right
one hand, and then a short sword is a little longer than a dagger.
See, Dean knows swords and guns. Texas is wild, dude. Texas is wild.
That's Texas.
Yeah, I know, right?
Come on, baby.
So
come on, Texas.
It's objectively, it's really badass, but subjectively, I'd rather get Hera, Sabine.
Right.
I would probably even get a Hu Yang before I would get this guy if they made him.
Now that's the tough call. We should run that poll.
I think they should totally make.
Would people buy a Hu Yang?
All the hands coming.
Would you buy now? You buy Hu Yang?
100%.
Okay.
I love him. It was like
he was great.
Actually, never mind. Go ahead. I don't want to get off on a tangent. I do that a lot. I'll get off. Yeah. No, I would definitely buy Hu Yang. He's like some droids are very funny, and like he's one of them. Yeah, nice. Definitely. Would definitely buy it.
Hu Yang's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, Dean. So you're saying objectively it's a good figure. That's kind of how I feel. I mean, like, and there was the one pose. It was the one we looked at a few photos ago. The one with him, sort of the cape flowing out. This one.
Yeah.
I think that really is the one that sells the figure for me. But the problem is most people are probably not going to display him like that because it's going to take up a hell of a lot of room in your display because he's stretched out with the lightsaber out wide and his arm all the way out. So you're taking up almost like 2 spots for a figure doing that. So, but he looks really cool. He looks really cool. So this is not going to be one for me, but damn, does it look cool. If the character had a little more development and layers and depth and all that, maybe this would be something I think we'll look at. But like you said, Dean and Natalie both, there's so many competing priorities nowadays. And you know, when people buy in art and it costs $500, and then you got that, and that's 2 figures basically, and then you got this one at $265. Like, there's just a lot of competing priorities, and it's, you know, and that's why it gets tougher and tougher. But I'm assuming this was an inexpensive figure to Hot Toys to make, and they knew they could sell enough to make it worthwhile. So
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm excited to see, you know, that one for people. I want to see if you know, people get excited about it. But again, the poll that I ran, the results were not as promising. So I guess we're going to find out and see what that looks like when it actually releases. But I would expect, honestly, that one to waitlist pretty quickly. I think that one's probably going to go to waitlist just because I don't think it's going to be a super hot ticket move or high volume seller. And I think it's going to be like Reva and Grand Inquisitor. It's going to waitlist pretty quick. So if you do want it, I'd probably try to grab it, to be honest. But I want to ask the question. We got some big picture stuff because, to be honest, guys, there's really not a hell of a lot of news. So we really want to get into, I think, things that affect the overall realm of collecting and just, you know, in general, big picture topics that we think might be interesting to explore. But I want to address the idea of the Artisan line. I've brought this up a few times now because the Artisan line, I think, is just a really exciting type of line that Hot Toys has introduced that is really new for them, right? I mean, of course, they've done rooted hair before, but this has the wool implantation technique and, you know, some other things like that. So this is definitely going to be something where, you know, the line is exciting to people. And of course, it's an exclusive thing, and that's not been something that everyone has loved so far, but it's still an exciting thing, and it's built a lot of buzz and hype, and, you know, I'm sure it's generated some revenue for them, and, you know, got some exciting, you know, trending positive towards the brand. So that said, Natalie, I want to ask you, overall, so far with this Artisan line, I mean, nothing has released yet, but do we view it as a positive for collecting? Because for a while we had those discussions, do we need more exclusivity because there were just an abundance, everything was being heavily discounted. Now we're getting that not everyone's getting the figures that they want, but it still is exciting nonetheless. And, you know, overall, is this a positive thing that Hot Toys is doing for 1/6 collecting? What do you think?
I think it's positive. I think a lot of people are excited. I think a lot of people are joining the, you know, day one pre-order. You don't have a choice.
It's like it's like 5-minute pre-order.
Like 5-minute, right? Hour one pre-order. But I don't know where you go beyond that. I don't know where the longevity is because we haven't seen it yet. So for me, I'm like super excited about these. I got the Anakin. I got the Scarlet Witch. I'm really hoping they turn out as good as they are being portrayed as. InArt has really put a lot of manufacturers on their toes on what the new standard could potentially be. Hot Toys is trying to combat that the best they can, and I think that's good. I think there's the need for keeping everyone, you know, fashion forward almost in this sense. So I think, yes, it is positive because of the fashion forward mindset, right? They all have to now be on their game. I don't want Hot Toys to try and catch up with the you know, the wool hair and the rooted and their focus only on the things that InArt does different. InArt differently does magnets. InArt differently does a peg in the back. InArt differently does half of a curl that's rooted. InArt differently does a lot of things. Don't get stuck on wool hair. Wool hair is like one thing. Just be better ultimately. So yes, it's a net positive because it's forcing them to do things different. But if you take Hot Toys out of it, and if that's the question I'm looking at, right, is Artisan line a net positive? Artisan line gets people who don't have InArt, it gives them exposure to wool hair. But it should give them exposure to magnetic bases. It should give them exposure to a peg in the back. It should give them exposure to other things. So I think there's a balance. I think there's maybe and a maybe no. Like Artisan line, the Wonder Woman was not Artisan. And I feel like that Wonder Woman and that Wanda are not different. So I don't know if it's a net positive or if InArt just being InArt is the net positive. And I know everyone's going to be like, oh, you know, forget art. I don't know. InArt is a touchy subject with Hot Toys collectors, and I get it. But in my opinion, I think when we look at Hot Toys and what they're doing, I think just the fact that we have that competitive nature between the two companies, that is the net positive. The InArt competition is driving the Artisan, and Artisan is a benefit because of that competition. So I don't know if I'm probably going on a tangent that everybody's already heard.
No, it makes sense. Chat's loving it.
To me, I think wool hair is great, but what else? There's no leather jacket.
No,
there's no, right? It's still pleather. Where's the peg that makes that person, or Wanda levitates. She can literally bend space and time. She is the only, if you ask any person who's defeating Thanos, it's two people. It's Wanda and it's Ant-Man. Ant-Man is getting in the butt.
That's fan fiction. That's Ant-Man fan fiction.
But it's fact.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
I side with the fans. So there's the two. So how do we not have it where Wanda is levitated, right? How do we not have it that the magnets are not a thing? That would probably be their easiest. Forget the wool hair. Magnets in the base without a flight or without a standing post is probably the easiest thing they could implement, and they have not done that. So there's little things like that where I say, sure, the wool hair is a positive, but the Artisan line doesn't meet them in the middle. It just, or maybe it meets them in the middle. It doesn't meet them at the end post. And I think they need to meet them at the end post if they're going to compare. And I know there's only one or two figures, and I know there's probably 25 people out there saying, well, do you even own one? Do you even own one? The answer is no, I don't own one. But that is the whole point of this conversation, right? It's a net positive for some people, but for people like me who don't collect those brands or don't collect those licenses, from what I know about them, they're amazing. I want to collect them. They just also don't have the licenses for it. So maybe I'm getting too far into the left, but I'll stop now.
No, but it makes sense. I mean, it's one of those where, InArt is, of course, doing sort of, DC and, Warner Bros. Type related properties, whereas obviously Hot Toys has the big dogs in Marvel, even though Marvel, which we'll talk about, having a little bit of trouble lately, but, Star Wars and Marvel, and then, of course, DC as well. But InArt is doing something that I think has people's attention in terms of the rooted hair and the head sculpt quality and the overall, the magnetic bases. I do think they're getting better for sure. I don't think they're perfect, but I do think they're becoming more secure over time, over releases and such. And I do think that's a cool innovation. I'm glad that they're trying to refine, but I'm with you. I've heard this complaint, levied a lot against Hot Toys. And I do agree. If this Artisan line is so artisan and premium, why not make it real leather? Like, that's, I think, the biggest downside for people. Like, if this wand to have rooted, wool rooted hair and exclusive and whatever, why is it not real leather? Like, why is it not premium in that respect as well? Like, why draw the line there? Maybe the costs were just too high. I don't know. But I'm with you, Natalie. You make a lot of sense there. But
I was looking at the chat, and before you go to Dean, I was going to say, is it weird for me to say I love my clitoris?
Mike clitoris, dude.
I really do. He's amazing. Like, I love his comments. So I'm gonna, hashtag I said it. I love my clitoris.
Mike. Shout out to Mike. But
Dean no, you misheard me. I said hashtag I love my clitoris.
Oh, okay. See, Natalie, you're legally allowed to say that as well.
I am.
It's all good. Yeah, exactly.
It's a dirty tactic if you ask me.
It is. It's true. But this is why you're here. So Dean the Dream, bro, what is your thoughts on the Artisan line? I mean, so far, of course, we don't have a release yet, but reviewing it so far in terms of the overall hype and the anticipation and the announcements they've made thus far, has this been a net positive for collecting? I mean, I know it's been a debated issue in terms of accessibility, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, accessibility is kind of the main thing about collectibles, right? Like, if everybody has one, is it collectible? No, I mean, there's really no value there. So, like, that's what makes collectibles is the value. So I think it is positive in that respect, but kind of what Natalie was saying about it forces Hot Toys to do better, to keep up with the market trends, and people are really excited about InArt. But I mean, she made a good point about this. Anakin still doesn't have leather. They're making a Wolverine with leather, and now he's about to come out, I think. So it's like, why couldn't this also have leather? Like, why is only the rooted sculpt the update? I don't want to say it's lazy, but it's uninspired for sure. It's like, oh, you guys like rooted hair? Yeah, we could do that. What about anything else?
But that's most.
Oh, a new base. Thanks. I mean,
I love my bases.
It's not as cool as the Dark Side Anakin base.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, it's just a round elevated base, and it still has a normal crotch grabber. Like it's, and that's just this specific figure, right?
Right.
But like again, the Wanda doesn't have a floaty arm. That's weird. Or does she?
Floaty
Does
arm?
that one do? Yeah, like those Spider-Man ones that bend and.
We need to somehow bend physics and then get Wanda to float. Like what? Like
no,
who's going to be someone to figure that out first? One of these companies is going to.
I mean, there's definitely levitating. The people make the levitating DeLorean.
Oh, how do they? I wonder how they do that.
It's just magnets. Just
is it the magnets can hold it in the air like that?
Yeah,
that's pretty.
But I mean, it's little, right?
Okay,
I mean,
right.
For something with considerable weight, you would need pretty bigger magnets, but that's probably
Could
pretty
you
expensive.
imagine? That'd be really cool.
Also, you have to it's like a pinpoint needle perfection level of where the magnets have to line up, otherwise it won't work. So
right.
But yeah, I mean, this Wanda, she also could have had a leather jacket.
Yeah, this looks so good. I'm so disappointed it's not leather. I don't care.
Especially since we've seen it from a regular Hot Toys figure. It's like, what is the Wolverine hat or that these shouldn't have? It doesn't really make sense in that aspect.
I don't care about the leather, but if you're gonna do it for Hugh Jackman for no reason other than, hey, look at this guy.
For longevity's sake, I think you should care about the leather.
I do too.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is I don't care about the leather, but if you're gonna say, hey, Artisan, top of the top, premium, this is what you're getting. Spend $500. Oh, I know.
Don't
let Ty hear that one. Yeah,
I know she probably already heard it.
Okay, that's fine.
Spend $400. Anyway, why is it not leather? Why? So rooted hair is what I'm getting. Because not for nothing, and everybody say what you want to say. The rooted hair version is cool. I love it. It's limited, but that sculpted version was better. I'm saying it now. I think
interesting. So you like the Wanda sculpted better?
I think it was better.
Okay.
And what's funny is I didn't even get that version because I just spent $500 on the first version. So I'm kind of SOL on that. If it comes out bad, I'm not going to be happy.
Well, that's what Kiko ordered both. He ordered both.
Of course he did.
But he's a Wanda lover. I mean,
because he had extra money because he didn't get the Anakin.
Damn. Savage, Natalie. Kiko, hopefully you didn't hear that, Kiko, because
he's on a cruise. He doesn't know.
But so here's the thing, and this comes back to the main idea of what we talked about in the first topic. Should we be grateful? Because this is almost I don't know if this is the right analogy, but the chicken or the egg type situation. That's how I view it, right? It's it's like, do we really get the figures that we really want all the time? Because a lot of times we're like, why aren't they making X figure? Why aren't they making Y figure? And then they make that figure, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then people sometimes don't support it. Maybe they do, but then we'll be like, okay, well, we got the figure we wanted. We got this Artisan Wanda. Everyone wanted an Endgame Wanda for a really long time. Now we got one, and it's like, yeah, but it's not real leather. So are we ever really happy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love Daniel. Daniel's in there. He's like, stunning hair craftsmanship, aka gimmicky marketing to make us buy the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely right.
What were you gonna say, Dean?
Yeah. I forgot. I'm sorry. But I was just gonna say, these figures are supposed to be the top of the top Hot Toys.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
It should have the premium materials, not just, hey, we threw some rooting hair. And don't get me wrong, rooting is not easy and it's very expensive. I mean, we've talked about before, there's people that do custom work and it's twice as much. So you're getting pretty good bang for your buck. And I think the exclusivity really helps it. I mean, keeping somebody up at night because they're waiting for an Artisan Anakin email, that's the kind of response you want to get.
Right.
What you want to elicit out of your customers. I want this, I need it. That's what makes a collectible. So I think, to answer your questions, overall it is a net positive, but they need to give you more bang for the buck, I think.
Right. And I do like the exclusive thing. I mean, again, I've said repeatedly, I don't want every figure to be exclusive. I do think having a specific line where you make some exclusive figures every now and then, like you said, Dean, to have that collectability, I think that's cool. Like, and then of course have a wide release. Like, I think it's great. I'm surprised they haven't done this with Anakin, but it's great that they have a lot of these figures. You have sculpted and you have the artisan rooted, so you can get, if you want the rooted, that's great. If you don't, you got a good consolation with the sculpted. So I think that's great. I love that you're giving people options. I'm glad InArt's doing that too. Only one they didn't was Pennywise and Gandalf, because it wouldn't really make sense to do sculpted for those two. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I'm really excited about this artisan line. I view it as definitely a net positive. I mean, overall, yeah, I would love to see, the real leather and of course other related things like that. But it's just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still happy at the end of the day. But I would, again, I do think it's important to give constructive criticism to Hot Toys so they can stay informed. I mean, they're never going to change anything unless you complain loud enough, right? You don't want to be a dick about it, but you do want to be, authentic and clear about what you're feeling about it. So, yeah, that's reasonable. So, yeah, I think it's a net positive. We're all in agreement, net positive. I think the chat's in agreement as well. So, 77% yes. So, I'm happy with that. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on that topic. I know we had a couple questions in the chat about different things, but I think it was Pune Dua. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that name incorrectly, about asking about the Loki figure. Yeah, so no spoilers for that one, but I do think that Loki figure is definitely coming. I think it could take a couple months. The Loki figures from season 1 took a long time to put up for pre-order, so I wouldn't be shocked. I think Hot Toys is just relatively slow when it comes to announcing new figures. So this year they've been better though. But anyway, so let's talk about a couple different things. I want to talk about Marvel a little bit. I never want to forget about grand old Marvel, because Marvel really is what, when I first started collecting, like maybe 5 years ago, when I first started, Marvel was the shit, right? We were in the Infinity War Endgame type of hype, and everything when Marvel was popping off. Iron Man was hot, Spider-Man was hot, Thor was hot, Thanos, whatever, right? So, but nowadays, things are a little bit different just because Marvel has experienced some bumps in the road lately. And I've actually been a little bit surprised recently. I actually did not go see this last night because Loki season 2 finale dropped. And that to me obviously took priority, which by the way, was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Fantastic. If you guys have not watched Loki season 2, please go watch it after the stream is over, because it is amazing. And I think you're really going to like it. It's fantastic. That said, the audience score for the Marvels has actually been pretty strong. And I'm surprised by that, because a lot of the reviews I've seen have said it's the worst Marvel movie yet. It's horrible, apparently. But I don't know. Everyone's going to be different. Some people love it. Some people hate it, whatever. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't have an opinion.
Sure.
But I will say, if this type of division and disappointment among at least maybe half of the fan base from what I've seen, or maybe less, 85% seem to like it right now, but a lot of people don't, regardless. If the disappointments continue and you have a lot of shows that seem mediocre, not as exciting as phases 1 through 3, are collectors going to start abandoning their Marvel collection that they currently possess, or abandoning getting new Marvel figures? So when Hot Toys announces new Marvel figures from new Marvel properties, are they going to stop picking those up? And that's the question. So Natalie, I would want to start with you on this one. When you start to think of some of the ones, I'll bring up some examples here. I think a lot of people have always wanted a female Mighty Thor figure. That's been one. But, Thor 4 wasn't super well received, right? It wasn't like the most popular film. And then of course you have figures such as this, right? Really badass character, amazing figure, but the film wasn't, it was good. I really liked it. I really thought it was great, but not everyone loved it. Not everyone thought it was the best thing, and the tightest thing that Marvel has done. And then of course you have other, characters like this, like Dina, which some people really love, right? And that's fantastic if you loved it. A lot of people didn't like Eternals. And if Marvel's pumping out disappointment after disappointment, and you're not really sure whether it's going to be good or not, are people going to start to lose interest in Marvel Hot Toys? What do you think, Natalie, about that?
I think I'm the perfect person to answer this question, to be honest. So the only thing I collected for the entire, since I think I started collecting in 2018, towards the end of 2018. And the only thing I collected was Marvel. I collected Hulk. Actually, my very first figure was Hulk, then Captain America, and then Iron Man. So obviously the three characters I addressed with most. So after that, I probably went way too far deep into Marvel, right? I needed to have every single version of every single character, and I think I went a little crazy. Ultimately, I ended up scaling back, selling a bunch of things, but I really landed on, all right, Marvel is my bread and butter. I'm not going anywhere outside of it. Come 2020, 2021, I watched streams, right? I was watching streams, and I would notice that everything I was watching on streams was all Star Wars related. I'm like, I stopped watching it. I moved away. I was like, I don't really. And then before you knew it, I was completely disconnected from the collecting community because there was nothing really good coming out. Nothing good coming out in the community. No good movies, no good shows. Everything that was good, it was okay. So I kind of stopped looking at the streams. I kind of stopped looking at everything in general. And it's not even just streams, but like also the Reddits and the just sideshow in general. I stopped looking. So eventually I watched Ahsoka, and I watched or not Ahsoka, Boba Fett. I think it was Boba Fett. What was the Fett. Was it Boba Fett where Anakin or Luke was on there with Baby Yoda?
Yeah, that's Book of Boba Fett. Yeah.
Was that Book of Boba Fett? Or
yeah, it
Mando?
was. Yeah, I think it was the Book of Boba Fett became like Mando season 2.5
right.
at one point. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So after I watched that, I was like, oh my God, they did that is amazing. I've never seen AI like in its glory. And so then of course I go to look it up, and I see a bunch of streamers talking about it. So I started looking again, and I got interested again. So I literally I'm the perfect explanation of I checked out of collecting. I stopped buying, Ty. So my partner, she'll tell you, boxes stopped coming to the house, right? They just stopped. I had all the things I wanted. I was done. And then all of a sudden I started watching this other show, and then I was like, oh, Star Wars. So then I started watching Star Wars and streamers that were talking about Star Wars, and I got re-engaged. So it was only after that point, and I've told you, Will, when you were here in Florida, you did a review about Luke, and I was like, oh my God, I got to get this. And what's funny is I never actually bought that one because I bought like 15 other things instead, but it was that one review or that one stream that you did. And so then I got excited again. But ever since then, the only thing I've bought from that point forward has been Star Wars. So now I've completely.
So no Marvel in the last year
nothing.
or two?
Actually, I lie. The last thing I bought was that Midas.
Yeah, it's Marvel. Yeah,
it is. Well, that's an Iron Man. So I bought Midas, that, and I bought the Iron Man Mark 6 with the gantry. Those are the only. So I really love Iron Man. A lot of people don't know that about me. I love Iron Man. So I don't really know if I'll collect Marvel a lot in the future, but those two things I really want. So I've wanted this for a very long time. I found it for a great price. So I bought it, and then the Mark 6 is going to ship soon. But outside of that, everything I've bought since then has been Star Wars. So I've kind of stepped completely back away. And so when you say, will they abandon if all of these poor properties continue? I think the answer is absolutely yes. I'm a die-hard Marvel fan. Me and my partner, my wife, we bond over Marvel. This collection thing that I do only works because she likes it too. So if we are talking about the failure of the series or the failure of their show, I don't know how much longer I can continue to say, hey, it's worth it, because she doesn't like any of this stuff anymore. And if she doesn't like it and I don't like it, what's the point of doing it? So I've had to completely shift focus. And so I bought Star Wars stuff, and I was like, hey, watch this movie with me. It's Attack of the Clones. It's a really good movie. She's like, this is boring. I'm like, no, just watch it. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna enjoy it. She does not like any of the old stuff. The new stuff she really likes. You and her would get along just fine. She loves Kylo Ren, loves all that stuff.
Natalie, I'm about to get in trouble. Attack of the Clones is not a good movie.
Oh my God.
It's not.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining the stream. You can all hang up now. Close
Force Awakens, though.
We're done.
Grail movie.
That's how she feels. She's like, this is stupid. She's like, but the Force Awakens one was really. I'm like, oh my God, no.
See, Ty, I knew I liked Ty. I knew Ty was amazing.
Nope, that was the moment that I brought out the divorce papers. This is no. But anyway, I think there's probably a good balance between this, but Marvel's got to. They gotta fix what they're doing, man. It's not good. Like, I even stopped collecting, and I'm a diehard Marvel. I never collected Star Wars in my life until they started falling off. And then I was like, well, I got to collect something. My itch, it needed to be scratched. So I was like, Star Wars. And I just, like, a kid with something shiny, I just switched gears. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Well, I got to ask you, Dean. I got to rope you into this conversation here. With Marvel sort of having their ups and downs, right? Of course, everyone seems to be loving Loki season 2. I got most votes said it was a 10 out of 10 for season 2, so people fucking love it. And I know people are asking in the chat, like I mentioned, that Loki will be coming eventually. We know it, but there have also been some bangers, right? We had No Way Home, which people really liked overall. I know Kiko doesn't love it, but a lot of people really liked it. Of course, we had Shang-Chi, which I think is just phenomenal film. I think it's one of my favorite movies, not just Marvel movies. I love Shang-Chi. I'm a huge Shang-Chi supporter. But so we've had some winners, but also some disappointments. Not all the shows have been bad. Of course, I didn't even watch Miss Marvel. She-Hulk, I think, was pretty rough, depending upon your opinion, but I didn't like it at all. Moon Knight, I thought was pretty good. Winter Soldier and Captain America and Falcon, whatever, that was good, solid, right? But Dean, right now, the Marvel universe seems a little uninspired. And I think that's losing people. And I think there's a couple of ways. It almost is like phases 1 through 3 has become the original trilogy, like Star Wars. And then the new stuff has become like sort of the sequel trilogy for people. That's kind of how it started to become. And it's like you said, Natalie, I do feel like maybe like Marvel's sort of lackluster performance in recent years has sort of almost pushed collectors towards Star Wars because they want to buy something.
It's very true.
It's almost like Marvel has been kind of not delivering in on everything, and people are like losing interest and like, well, I guess I'll just go to Star Wars, right? So, Dean, what do you think about that? I mean, there's a lot of thoughts here floating around, but what are your thoughts? Do you got a controversial opinion? Because I want to hear it.
I think both Star Wars and Marvel are on a downward trend right now.
Well, but Star Wars seems to be doing well with collectors despite that. I don't know what's going on. Like,
that's true. Well, I think
why.
because the Ahsoka show wasn't the greatest, but the characters in the Ahsoka show people love. Hera, Sabine, Chopper,
sure.
Ezra. So they're gonna want those representations in their collection no matter what. Thrawn, people who don't even like modern Star Wars but love the books, the extended universe books now would want a Thrawn in their collection. Like it's kind of a no-brainer. So that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, we see it all the time. You pre-order a figure, you wait a year to get it, the hype is down. People cancel the pre-orders all the time because the hype is gone. And if people aren't even excited to see a movie that's brand new, why would they order figures from it? It's rough. I definitely think that there's going to be a lot of collectors just jumping ship and moving on to something else. Because if you're not even excited to see something, much less love it, I mean, why order a figure?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dean. Well, Dean, what about the possibility of, say, DC gets their shit together, James Gunn creates a really compelling universe, and then Natalie, and then maybe you have DC.
Yeah, people have been begging for DC to get their shit together for years.
Right.
I mean, people were fucking still doing backflips for the Nolan trilogy. We're still seeing figures today for the Nolan trilogy.
Dude, yep.
Because people love it and people fucking buy it.
Yep.
And there are definitely fans of the first DCEU, right? I know a lot of people really love Superman. What's his name?
Which one?
The newest one.
Oh,
or most recent, rather.
You're talking about Clark? You said Superman? Clark Kent?
The actor.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Thank you. Jeez. People really love Henry Cavill as Superman. I'm actually really disappointed they got rid of him. But I really enjoyed Ben Affleck's Batman. I know a lot of people didn't.
I liked him.
Yeah, thank you, Trimble Does. I could not think of his name to save my life.
I know. I was over here like Superman.
I thought you meant like Clark Kent. And I was like,
Clark Kent, right?
yeah.
Obviously, the only person who can be Superman.
Right, exactly.
Clark Kent.
Yeah. So, and people really liked the newest Batman movie. It's just called Batman, right?
Right, the Batman. Yeah, with Pattinson.
Pattinson Batman. It seems, especially now, because we have Blue Beetle, Then we have the Pattinson movies. Then we have Jokers. It's like, do all these things fit in together? Like, I don't see how, because the Jokers takes place like in the 70s or something.
Right.
And then Pattinson Batman is like modern day, and then it's just everything feels so disjointed right now. But DC has a lot of characters people love and a very deep roster that they haven't even scratched the surface of. So yeah, if James Gunn can work his magic in the DC universe, I think people would definitely be happy to buy figures from it.
Right. I think so too. I mean, you got a lot of really rich characters in DC over there. I mean, of course, everyone goes crazy for Batman, whether the movie is good or not. So, you know, Batman will pretty much always. So I think Superman will pretty much always be a good mover, particularly if the film's really good, which I hope James Gunn's Superman is. But yeah, I don't think they're going to fit together, Dean, right now. I mean, I think Joker and Batman are all on sort of separate timelines and such. So, you know, I think it's definitely just a different thing. But, you know, as far as Marvel is concerned, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm still hopeful. I mean, I still obviously have my Marvel collection. Most of it, of course, is phases 1 through 3. I mean, I have Shang-Chi and Wenwu. Obviously, they're phase 4. But phase 4 or 5, I don't know. I get lost in it at this point. But essentially, yeah, like they're great. I love those figures. And, you know, this Moon Knight, for example, is a good choice. Of course, we have No Way Home, like I mentioned, with the Peter Parker and Andrew and you know, and Tom and all the other ones. And I'm going to get that Tom Holland final red and blue suit. So there are still some bangers in there to keep people attentive. I know, again, people have been asking about the Loki, because Loki season 2, putting Marvel back on the map. I'm glad that people are finally recognizing Loki as an elite level character.
Was the episode this week the final episode this
final
season?
episode? Yeah.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet. I meant to watch it before the show, and
dude, you gotta watch it now. Did you watch it yet? Dang, you haven't even watched the show, have you? Damn.
Wow, it's pretty good.
It's really good. It's really good.
And
not
when
just I'm a Loki fan.
The new season, when episode 1 came out for season 2, I watched it and I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch season 1 because I don't really remember. Season 1 was pretty fucking good. I really like season 1.
It was good.
Yeah, a lot of people. I know a lot of people like season 2 more, but
this literally ties into what we were just talking about. Like when Marvel starts to become so not good, like how many people are tuning in for the next one and the next one.
That's what's been
happening.
happening.
I am a huge Marvel fan. I'm a diehard Marvel fan, and even I am like, well, it's nothing that I'm gonna miss. Like I could just wait. I have tickets to go see tomorrow, the Marvels, right? But I'm just, I'll wait.
Let me ask you this, because it seems I haven't really found anyone with a differing opinion, but I'm just interested to see what you guys say.
Yeah,
because everyone is always like, "Oh, it's superhero burnout. It's Star Wars burnout." Is it, or is it just badly written stories?
I don't think so.
I would fucking eat up. I mean, I still do eat up Star Wars, and then I'm usually disappointed. I'm like, fuck.
I don't think it's burnout, Dean, because look at how well, from what I've heard, Invincible is doing. Of course, The Boys continues to do well. I mean, I think you know, Pattinson Batman did well. I mean, Joker's not a superhero, but it's a comic book film, right? So I mean, that made $1 billion. I mean, you know, I don't think it's burnout at all. I think it's people want to see something different. I think that's why Marvel's in a tough spot. They don't want to see the exact same Marvel formula again, but they also don't want it to be too different. So it's like it's somewhere in between. But I don't think it's burnout. I think people will eat up superhero content as long as the writing is good, and a lot of the writing has been mid.
Yeah, because my whole thing is like people have been buying superhero books since the fucking 50s.
Right.
Like, people aren't burnt out of it. You're just making not good stuff.
Yeah. There's no such thing as being burnt out when there is literally a humongous fandom that is dedicated. People go out of their way to spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to create costumes to replicate themselves in versions of the things that they love. They go and they stand in lines for hours to join Comic-Con. Like, no, there's no such thing as burnout when it comes to this genre of fandom.
I will say, though, the one thing I will sort of clarify, I do think there's a Marvel burnout a little bit, just because I feel like they have oversaturated their brand a little bit, and that's made the quality of it.
There's an oversaturation of market.
But as far as like what you guys are saying, as far as the market, the genre of superhero films, no. But I will say that what Marvel has done with making like, you know, and again, it might be good, who knows, but making an Echo show, making an Agatha Harkness show, like a lot of that stuff feels like, whether it's good or not, I don't think people will really watch it in mass because it's too much. I didn't even watch Miss Marvel at all, and I heard it's good. because it's just like it's so
I
much
like
to
Miss
keep up with.
Marvel.
Yeah, I heard it's good.
It
I
was
thought it was a
good.
great story.
And it's just but it's just like there's so much. So I think Marvel, in which they're going to dial it back, make less shows, make like maybe 2 to 3 movies a year like they were doing, make them really high quality. That's I think what they need to do.
Yeah.
And then the figures will sort of take care of themselves from there. And we'll get some good stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's just Loki, I think, still has people excited. So it still shows that people are committed to Marvel as long as they can expect consistency of quality.
I will say this. I really do enjoy season 2 Loki, but I can't think of a single figure I would get from it.
Not even that final one. I won't mention it, but not even that final one.
I mean, like Ouroboros is a cool guy, but he's like in a jumpsuit. Or
yeah, right.
Or again,
oh wait, you haven't seen the final episode. Never mind.
Mobius
I won't mention it.
It's just a guy in a suit.
You'll
Loki
see, Dean. I think that might change.
like
I think
a
your opinion
longer
might change
trench coat.
I think your opinion might change when you watch the finale. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems kind of like.
But short of that, yes, because the Loki TVA figure is really, really good, but it's kind of like bland. It's just him in like a suit, So it's kind of
But so is season 2. I think he's just wearing a black long coat.
It's pretty much the same. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess. And then Sylvie's not even in an outfit this season. She's in like robes. Like,
right.
It's just kind of like, why would I buy any of these figures if
they're not toyetic? Right.
Yeah, they don't translate to like great figures.
It's not like looking at a Cad Bane where you're like, this is fucking cool. Yeah, or
right, like
or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't even think of like accessories you could give Loki. I don't think he's used his daggers at all. This, from what I've seen.
No, yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, but
it's like great show, but no collectability.
It's kind of. I saw a comparison. Someone said it's like Marvel's Andor, kind of. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's like it kind of almost doesn't feel like Super Marvel, but it's really good, and it's kind of how Andor is. Like it almost feels like almost outside of Star Wars, but it's so good. Like But I don't know. I think it works. It's just different themes and stuff. But yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on that one. That was a fun topic to discuss. Again, I think Marvel is just in an interesting spot right now, and I do hope they right the ship, and I do believe they will. But we're gonna let us know your thoughts. If you've seen the Marvels, don't put any spoilers in the chat. But if you've seen it, let us know in the comments below what you're thinking about it, and we'll talk about it. So I want to talk about a figure. Someone dropped me a comment about this, and I thought it was pretty interesting. And again, I always try to make it sure that people are going to be interested in what we're talking about, and we address topics that the community is going to be interested and invested in. That said, there is something that I want to talk about, and I asked Natalie about this, and I was like, you need your homework before the show, but it was fine. But so
Dean is going first on this one, is what we're
Dean go
saying.
first on this one.
All
So
right.
Mondo announced a figure from the film The Thing. So there have been a couple versions of The Thing. There was like a version, I think in like the 50s or 60s, an original version. Then John Carpenter came along and remade that, as far as I'm aware, and with the version with Kurt Russell, which is a horror classic. I mean, if you've not watched The Thing, please go watch it. It might be the best horror film ever made. It is literally phenomenal. It's got so much suspense and tension and drama in it. And it's just amazing. But Mondo announced something that I thought was pretty interesting. They announced 2 versions. This one actually is a regular version, right, where you can get MacReady and you can get him, and with the Kurt Russell version, and pick him up for $235. The thing that's interesting I found was that they make you do full pay or a payment plan. You can't put down an NRD, which I find pretty interesting. At least I couldn't when I was trying to check this guy out. I will say, if you're interested in this figure, the exclusive version with the dog and the little head, the little thing head crawling around with, I don't know if it has a specific name. It's been a while since I watched the film, but I do love it. That one is exclusive and ends tonight. Pre-order window ends this evening. So that's going to be something you want to look at. But Dean, I got to ask you, I mean, we talk about a lot. Why doesn't Hot Toys or InArt make this obscure thing, right? And the thing is not obscure. It has a big following. I get that. They're going to remake it at some point again, I'm sure. I've heard rumblings. But is this one that collectors, again, you talk about competing priorities, is this one that collectors are going to go for? Or is maybe this more for like the non-collector who just really loves the thing? What do you think?
Yeah, this is badass. I actually really love this.
Yeah,
I think the jacket kind of sucks. It looks like a
and what about
Joe
the paint apps on
jacket.
the sculpting? You know what I mean?
The paint is definitely not as good as Hot Toys, but you're also not well.
I mean, you're paying $265.
Yeah, I think if you get the non-exclusive one, it's I think it's
$235. Yeah.
Oh, is it $235?
And the base is also pretty shit. It's just a simple black base.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we were talking about this on the show the other day. This is maybe max like a $200 figure, which is about what Mondo prices their stuff at.
Right.
So this is a little high, but you get actual cloth goods. I don't think they've done cloth goods yet. I think all their figures have been, jointed, basically like big 12 scale figures. So you get some cloth goods, pretty good tailoring, except on the jacket. Like I said, it looks like a G.I. Joe jacket where the sleeve is like gigantic and
G.I. Joe.
the fucking pockets. Look how big the pockets are. You can like fit his head in them. But this is a character people love in a movie that has stood the test of time. I mean, it's not that old, but I mean, when you talk horror, people bring up The Thing. It's just great,
always.
I don't even collect horror stuff, and even I was like, "Fuck, I want this." If this was like $200, I would have got it. Even at $235, that's too high. And then $265, it's a fucking travesty that those accessories are only on the exclusive version,
right?
Because I think those are a must for this character. Because you can't, I mean, what else are you going to pair it with on the shelf, right?
Right.
Like
right.
that. Like
this is ridiculously disgusting.
It is.
I guess you haven't seen the movie.
You haven't seen it though. You got to see it.
Okay,
you'll understand it. It'll make sense. It'll make sense.
Yeah, you have to watch this movie.
And I keep thinking this was 70s. It was 82 actually. It was made 1982.
And
look at the dog though.
The dog, yeah. And then all the little the arms on the head are all articulated. Like that's so cool. So like maybe you could justify the price. Like, hey, we had to like engineer the shit out of this thing, but then why only put it in the exclusive version? Like,
right.
It's just a bummer. But I
want to buy this little dog a health
plan.
You
need this dog.
Like he needs veterinary assistance.
Yeah, again, not spoiling.
Really
I know Dean knows, and a lot of people in the chat. But essentially, what happens is the thing is like an alien monster. It sort of can shapeshift, so it will take the form of other people and things or whatever. So that's what's happening here. It's taking the form of this dog.
Yeah, you have to watch this movie, Natalie. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so suspenseful.
Yeah,
because you don't know who's the thing and who's not. It's Among Us basically copied the premise. That Among Us, the video game, they copied basically this because it's, it's as far as I'm aware, because, this is basically what Among Us is. I mean, it's like you're trying to figure out who's the imposter. That's the whole movie, basically.
Yeah. I think this figure is definitely worth a look for movie fans, for The Thing fans, for horror fans. Like this ticks so many boxes. I mean, you could even just love Kurt Russell. And it's like, hell yeah, that's one of his best movies, I think this is a banger. Like all the negatives aside, I think it's still pretty good. I just wouldn't pay that high for it.
Right. And so I think I pronounced
the paint apps. If the paint apps were like Hot Toys quality,
right,
I'd pay the $265 happily. But they're not. They're,
it's a step below.
This is like a big NECA figure. Like,
yeah, for $265.
It's like it does the trick. Like the sculpt is there, the paint is pretty good, but it's not that price point good.
See, and here's the thing, Dean. I think you're right. It is like a little bit higher quality, maybe NECA figure. But and by the way, I'm pretty sure it's MacReady. By the way, the name is pronounced. So my apologies. I always say MacReady, but I get it wrong. But I'm thinking of like McDonald's, I think. But basically, like when you think about this guy, you're actually right, Dean. Like that's been because I fucking love The Thing, bro. I love The Thing. I think it's great. I think it's, if not one of the best horror, the best, I think it's one of them. So the problem is, does this devalue the other figures in your collection because you have it next to InArt, you have it next to Hot Toys and whatever, and you're like, it's just not, it doesn't look on that level, And that's
I think if you're sitting on the, if you're sitting on the couch,
sitting on the couch.
I think if you're sitting on the couch, it's fine. But if you have somebody come over,
if you're sitting on the couch, this should not be in invisibility.
How
were you talking about the dog?
Hold on.
You haven't seen the movie.
Okay, I'm gonna tell this. All
the movie is great, Natalie. But go ahead.
Listen to me, guys. Listen.
Okay.
You ready?
Listen,
guys.
Listen.
If you are sitting on the living room couch and you can see any of your figures, you're doing your relationship wrong.
What if the woman likes figures now? That might be different.
Well, because wait, what was the question? Say it again.
I said, what if women like your figures though? That might be different. They might want to see those.
Then she's doing the relationship.
Oh, you think so?
No, I don't know.
No.
Anyway, I'm just saying most of the time, I'm just saying you need to have your like personal space. So if you're sitting on the couch and you could see the figure, you're probably doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Hate me if you want to.
Yeah, because so in my bedroom is like
now we're talking good stuff.
It's like an airplane hangar in here. It's 800 square feet, just my room.
What?
So
I told you he's royalty out there.
So like I just have a big blank wall that's my projector, and then my collection is next to it. So if you see my details behind me, or I sit in this chair right here, and then I watch TV on the wall, and then the room continues back that way. But I have another TV on that side of the room, and you can see the collection from that side. So I'm saying, like, if you're sitting on the couch watching TV and you see your figures,
gotcha.
I think it's great. But if you had somebody come over and they're looking at your collection, examining everything, this is definitely going to stand out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to point something out here.
Point it out, Natalie.
Women definitely like my figures.
I think he said my figure. So we might be
My
talking about
figure. So all right. So you have one.
You might have a 6-pack. You know, he could be talking about
your little figure. Your little 6 scale figure. I got it. Okay.
Wow. Don't do him that dirty.
What? And are we not talking about 6 scale figures?
You don't have to say little.
Okay, I apologize. Women love your 1-to-1 scale figure.
Dude, I don't think I've ever dated a woman who said I love your collection, but they never disliked it. I mean, they've always liked. Some liked it. So my ex used to watch all live streams, so she found it entertaining.
It's great. Yeah. Listen, you probably saw mine just walk by. She in the beginning. Go ahead and rewind the video. You'll see her. She was like crawling behind and I'm like, hey, by the way, you crawled behind the wrong side of the island, like everybody saw you. She's like, oh no.
She crawled behind the wrong.
So like,
we'll have to run back the tape.
Run back the tape and go ahead and watch it again.
By the way, Flash Murphy said his wife loves his collection. So
yes, as she should. Women love a man who collects.
But you're saying it shouldn't be in a common area.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like you can do it the right way. So when I look at a house, right, it's like, think about if you ever been to a house where your kids' toys are just like everywhere. There's Legos on the floor. There's marker on the wall. It's like, wow, you really need to get your kids under control. Now imagine you walk into a house and it's like, there's a whole little box that looks like a Lego, right? But the box, if you open it, has Legos in it. Obviously the whole thing looks like a Lego and it's not like Kirkland's store, but it vibes. So there's a way to make things vibe. So if you're sitting on a couch and this thing here, this upside down head with a dog, if this is in your living room,
so that's how we got to this.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
This whole long point got there just for this.
Oh my god! You just painted the most beautiful picture, and I was like, "Oh fuck, she's right."
You have company over. This is what they're saying. Then you have to rethink it, right? Put it in another room. Put the cool stuff on the outside. Don't.
Now, when you see the movie, it'll all make sense, though.
It doesn't matter.
It all makes sense.
Most people who have seen this movie, they can appreciate it, but they don't want it on their dining room table. Is where I'm going.
Yeah, it'd be like having like a Walking Dead collection, right? When you
walk
in the door.
Well,
and imagine you have people over for Christmas dinner. Like, hey, come on in. We got baby Jesus, and then like upside down scary face, right?
Like, could you imagine like a girl walking into your house and just sees this on the kitchen table? Like, it's like,
hey, make yourself comfortable. I got wine upside down. I got wine upside down head, cheese, anything that you.
It's like there he is, front and center for you.
Go back.
Like, imagine you sit down, you pour a glass of wine. She takes the glass of wine. She looks to her left, and this is the photo that she sees. And this is the thing that's on the. Come on, I'm just saying. It's
go to the photo that's looking up at the thing head.
This one?
Yeah, that's
right there.
That's at night, bro.
Oh my god,
that's her view.
That's what Mondo's trying to tell you. Like, this is her view. This is his view. Yeah.
Because I see it all the time in the chats. Everyone's like, hey, what do women think about my collection? And then this is the thing you have on your freaking kitchen counter. Like, let's
Well, I mean, I would hope you wouldn't put it on your kitchen counter.
You would hope.
Yeah, I would hope you would put this in your display. But
you know,
even then, like, you know, Natalie, like I have Pennywise, right? That takes some explanation. This will really take some explanation because, you know, unless they've seen the thing. If they've seen the thing, it might be different. They'll be like, oh shit, like they might think it's creepy, but it's still a cool looking thing.
Like, Will, why do you have a killer clown in your collection? Oh, I'm a big fan of his work.
I'm a big fan.
I should go. I'm gonna call an Uber.
Yeah, I'm gonna call an Uber. Never happened yet, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. I don't want to jinx it, but
that's fantastic.
But yeah, I do think honestly this figure is still really cool. I'm excited for it, and you know, look, I think this is really cool. Look, I have my Pennywise. I love the horror genre.
Go back to the head. I just want to point one thing out.
You just want to go back to the head again?
I do.
This one?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the head.
It articulates. Look at the joints.
So I really like that the hair kind of goes upside down. Like this kind of looks like, do you remember Real Monsters with the guy that holds his little eyeballs?
Yeah, I remember that. I think vaguely. I don't remember.
This is what I think of when I see that.
Natalie, watch the movie tonight. You and Ty.
No, I'm not going to do that.
You'll like it.
Well, I appreciate you, and I've been influenced enough by your nonsense. But this is not what I will.
Like it. But we got a super chat from Carlos. He asked Natalie, "Can I have my life-size Iron Man next to my living room? Is that too much? Make the call." Natalie.
Listen, I think life-size Iron Man is acceptable. Check.
Okay, that's where we draw the line. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this.
Because you can. This is disgusting. You can't explain this. If someone walks into your house and goes, oh, life-size Iron Man, this is so cool. This looks like you could pretend like you were on the movie set. Like, oh, when I was just filming the movie, like I just got this as a prop. Like, there's so many things you could do with that.
But I'm excited that people are going to get this because I know that I've seen custom versions of MacReady and I've seen, you know, a custom thing, dogs and this head and shit. So that's all out there. But I will say it's pretty cool you're getting a licensed one. But again, hey guys, if you want it, Mondo, the exclusive version ends tonight. If you want this fucking thing on your coffee table, then you know, then you need to get this thing tonight. It's gonna the pre-order's
gonna. This thing is disgusting. Can we go? Can you like change the photo?
Just watch the movie. It'll make sense. It's fine. So, but Carlos is permitted officially to have his life-size Iron Man. So
yeah, and it would be cool. I dub it cool.
Yeah, exactly. Natalie's giving. Dean, what is happening with Kevin, bro? He's out.
He is the most amazing. Like, I'm in love with what's happening right here.
Kevin is out, bro. Like he's being a little baby. Handsome. He's being a little babe right now.
Yeah.
He just wanted some attention.
Oh, nice. How old is Kevin, Dean?
He'll be 4 next year.
Nice. He's still a young puppy.
He's only a puppy. This is ridiculous. He looks like he's on his AARP card and you're just like helping him along.
It's really weird. If you look at photos from when I got him, he was like all black. Like he was a little.
So he's graying at 4.
Gold up here, I guess, because he never had gray hair growing up, and then now he's like
he's sophisticated.
He's like, what? Y'all talking about me?
Yeah, he's mature for his age.
He is. He's maturing. He's maturing quickly. He's like Benjamin Button. It's fine, dude. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. So guys, thanks for your thoughts on that one. Hopefully you guys are considering picking up that figure MacReady. I think that'll be pretty cool. So let's talk about some other stuff here that we have on the docket. We got another about half an hour or so. And I want to talk about something that I think is pretty interesting. And this is the idea, Star Wars, look, after Ahsoka, a lot of people talked about this. They're saying, what's coming next from Star Wars? As of now, from what we've heard, there's no Star Wars, from what my research has shown, there's no Star Wars film coming in 2024. I know the Rey movie is possibly entering production. Who knows, though, with Lucasfilm. Everything gets canceled all the time. You don't know, right? They might not even do that movie. But that said, there's been some other stuff that has been teased. I know they're talking about Bad Batch coming back for another season.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, you can hear about that? I'm pretty sure that's... Yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because I'm pretty sure I'll pull up the article that I was looking at. But so that was something I think that was talked about. So I'll pull that up, and then of course they had the Acolyte, which has had a lot of sort of ups and downs in terms of the production and stuff like that, and a lot of.
I thought that also got canceled.
That's what we've heard, but then we don't know. And then, we're talking about like maybe it's still releasing. So again, Dean, everything's up in the air, right?
Yeah, and Rogue Squadron got canceled.
Yeah, that got canceled. And then you're talking about like possibly Andor season 2, right? Andor season 2 possibly in 2024. We don't know. That's still pretty soon, right? But still, with the sort of possible potential drought in Star Wars content. They still want to make Star Wars figures, right? So that begs the question, where do they go for that, right? Because I was looking at the data that at least from 2023, right? So if I'm looking at announcements, they've done 15 new Star Wars figures, 18 Marvel. We're looking at releases, 21 Star Wars figures, 32 Marvel, as far as my calculations are right now, right? So that's something that I think, I think is worth addressing, considering a lot of people have been waiting for a lot of 2.0s for iconic characters from the original trilogy. We're talking about Chewbacca, talking about Han Solo, maybe even Farm Boy Luke, Leia, stuff like that, right? Could that potentially be something that Hot Toys goes back into, maybe even Obi-Wan Alec Guinness, if there's not new Star Wars content to make figures of? What do you guys think about that? Dean, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with the poor reception of the sequel trilogy. First movie, they made too many figures.
Right.
Second movie, they didn't even make that many, right? It was like Kylo, Rey, a Praetorian Guard, and like that was it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. And then maybe that might have been it. Was there any troopers made? I don't think so.
I don't think there were.
Yeah.
And then the same thing for the last movie. It was just Rey and Kylo.
Right.
And it's like people don't want to buy this shit. That's not good. What did they do? They went to the prequels, and guess what? Everyone started buying figures again.
Yeah.
And they still have a lot of prequel figures they can make that they haven't touched, right? We don't have a proper Grievous yet. Sideshow one does not count. Don't say it. Lots of clone. Well, I guess from the movies, probably not as many, but you could the whole Jedi Council you could do. But in terms of the original trilogy, I think a 2.0 Farm Boy Luke would be cool. I don't think we're ever going to see another Han Solo. I think Harrison Ford fucking hates that character and doesn't sign off on his likeness for Han Solo. Or what? Because there's no reason we shouldn't have already gotten the Bespin Han. They even teased it and nothing. A new Chewbacca would be pretty cool. I would like to see him do a new Chewbacca because the Force Awakens one is horrific. But I don't know. Those figures are so good and they hold up. Like the Alec Guinness Obi-Wan is fantastic. I still really love the Farm Boy Luke, and he came with so much shit. You're not gonna get that again. For that price point, that figure is amazing. Like this could be better, but I still think it's a pretty solid figure. I think I've said this before. I think Han Solo, that figure right there, might be one of the greatest figures Hot Toys ever did.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. I love it. But yeah, I don't see them touching the original trilogy anytime soon. I think they're still going to pump out prequel stuff.
Prequels would make sense. I mean, because you got a anniversary coming up in what, 2 years, right? I'm pretty sure Revenge of the Sith. I gotta look it up again.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think if any time to do a Grievous, that would be the time. Like, I mean, if not sooner. But I mean, I would say that I don't know if Hot Toys has been working on an R&D for that one for a while. I mean, you know how long C-3PO took. I mean, usually what'll happen is like Sideshow will get to run theirs for a while. Then Sideshow's like, okay, maybe you can make one. And Hot Toys like, okay, we're gonna make one, and it's gonna be better. So that's
because what 3PO are we getting?
Well, there's Return of the Jedi and
Return of the Jedi,
Attack of the Clones. So
yeah, well, fuck, maybe you're right. Maybe they're gonna keep doing
yeah, and we still, I mean, they could easily make another Papa Palpatine with the throne again. Make him,
yeah, or Lando and Skiff gear. That'd be a cool figure.
Yeah.
Leia and Bosch gear. That'd be a really cool.
And maybe they could make Palpatine from the prequels. They never made that, so they made a Clone Wars version. But yeah, so but Natalie, what do you think? I mean, with the potential lack of content there, do you think Hot Toys is saying we still want to release Star Wars figures? Where do they go? You know, what do you think about that? Because you're a Star Wars.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm a Star Wars fan now, right?
Yeah, right.
So there's a part of me that says like they would just remake a lot of things. So the original trilogy and the lack of content, it's just like with Marvel. So think about all the new Iron Men that we've got. they're all 2.0s. I think that's probably the phase that we're headed to. We're probably headed to a bunch of 2.0s. I don't know that Han or Chewbacca, maybe Chewbacca, right? Because it's just a woolly beast, but not so much Han. But I think there's probably a bunch of 2.0s in the future. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everyone is very into Anakin right now. So I think there's, outside of the Artisan edition, there's probably like an Artisan dark side on the way. And if not Artisan version of it, a sculpted version. I just think they're probably going to revisit a lot of that. They've already started doing some of that, leveraging like the Clone Wars and the 20th anniversary. I think every year at this point, they're knocking on like some sort of anniversary. I think Yoda is definitely overdue. He's coming.
That
Mark my
Empire
words.
Strikes Back Yoda they made, yeah.
Yeah. Mark my words. Yoda is coming. He's going to be a 2.0. I've been saying that also about Hulk. So I think Hulk is going to be, and I know we're not talking about Marvel, but like some of the ones that are like main characters, I think they're well overdue, especially the painted characters. You think about like Yondu and Nebula and even Admiral Thrawn right now. Some of those painted characters, those have always been the best. I don't even say the best selling, but like the best longevity. They always become grails for some reason. So I think those are likely to become, I think Yoda is coming soon. So that's my thought. I think trilogy Star Wars, even though there's a lack of new content, I think they're going to do a lot of 2.0s. And they're probably, someone, I forgot who it was. Someone, I'm going to look back here. But someone said they're going to do, or that they would like for like Phasma or Admiral Akbar. Like those are really good options. Akbar, how do you not have an Akbar?
Well, that would be pretty cheap, I would assume, to make. I doubt it would be that, because what do you even put him with? You know, it's like what accessories?
A Mon Mothma? We need everything. Her too.
First of all, you just put him with two head sculpts. One where he looks like, because he's about to be blown up, and then the other where he's just like.
No, I don't know, guys. Even see Akbar get killed on screen.
I'm not convinced, because if people aren't buying a Morak, I don't know that they're going to buy a Akbar.
I disagree.
I don't know,
because Akbar is like
he's iconic, but we're talking about poetic, and I guess he looks kind of cool, but he's just
hold on. How? All right, think back to like every year that you've ever been on Facebook. How many times does the meme "It's a trap"?
Oh yeah, back. Time.
Everybody's buying one.
Natalie, Will's not a real Star Wars fan. He didn't start watching until the sequels.
No. So Dean, I watched the original films back when I was a child, but the sequels are what made me a true fan, because they're great. That's why. The sequels are awesome. And I love just fucking with Dean's day up with that. I don't love The Last Jedi, but I love Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker unapologetically. I think they're awesome. So yeah.
Again, Admiral Akbar prior to those things.
Everyone is like, what is wrong with that?
There's no different than any normal live stream. That's what people say all the time. So yeah, but it's I think it's pretty cool. But I mean, look, if we're going down that route, make Jar Jar. I mean, like,
oh my god,
Jar Jar would be way better than
I think a Jar Jar would actually be
Jar Jar
Binks would sell. Figure. I think Jar Jar would sell
instantly, day one. I love him. He is freaking adorable. And you know what?
Get a lot of custom Darth Jar Jars made. You know what I mean? I think people would get a robe and like a hood and make it Darth. I would do that.
Oh my gosh. Everybody loves to hate Jar Jar, but he's so adorable. Like, let's be
he
real
objectively sucks. I just think he'd be great. I think he would translate into a really cool figure.
I think he would too.
Yes, that is absolutely true. And then
so maybe they go back, like, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, anyone who's ever been on a date in a Star Wars movie, like if you ever took someone to Star Wars movie on a date, right? Did they not all go, "Aw, I like him," right? This is look. This is how you reel them in, people. I'm telling you the secret.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, you Jar Jar Binks. He's adorable.
No, you get the thing head. That's what you do. You get that. You put it on your coffee table
next to Jar Jar Binks,
and you articulate it. And you say, "Look, it articulates," and then and then they'll be all over you.
That thing head is like even worse than a roach. Like
you seal the deal.
That's equivalent of putting a dead roach on your thing with the the curled.
I think it looks pretty cool. You got to watch the film, Natalie. It'll make sense. I'm telling you, you're gonna.
I didn't take a date to see Star Wars. I was 9.
X-Man Supreme. I'm gonna just pull.
You weren't
X-Men,
dating at that time, Dean?
X-Men
No, I was
Supreme. Justice for Jar Jar.
I don't remember. I don't remember when I started liking girls. That was like middle school, probably. Yeah, that was like, I don't remember. You know, in elementary school, like everyone was afraid to admit that you liked a girl. They were like, oh, I don't know. That seems weird.
Boy,
right?
girls are stupid.
Yeah, girls are lame, bro. And then
Girls are still stupid, and
Yeah,
they're still
no.
lame.
But so are men sometimes, to be honest. So. But guys, I gotta ask you. This is a quick little side question. I gotta ask this because I was having the chat with coworkers today. This is a quick thing before we move on to the next topic, and I want to get the chat to weigh in here. Let me ask you a brief question. This is just totally off the cuff, not a topic that we scheduled. Is Anakin Skywalker redeemable after what he did?
What are we talking about?
Because Anakin Skywalker slaughtered children.
Who cares?
In cold blood.
No.
Okay. So there's your answer, right? So, okay. So, because my coworkers and other friends seem to think that Anakin Skywalker is irredeemable after what he did.
But what is redeemable nowadays? What is redeemable?
Like, I guess sort of making amends and, and saying like, okay, he's cleared. He's cleared. He made a mistake.
I think there's a reason why when people commit murder, they go to prison for life.
Yeah, so
and he killed way more than one person. So yeah, I think
people love Anakin though.
I'll go first. Dina, I'm gonna just jump in right here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I think what is redeemable? Does that mean, you get to come back from all of your mistakes? No, but we're talking about a fictional character. We're talking about a story arc, and we're talking about an overarching circle of this is what you did, this is where you were from, this is how you ended your life story, and this is where you landed. So redeemable, yeah, why not?
He got a Force ghost.
I'm not saying that you deserve to be praised. He's not I don't think he deserves at the end to have a Hall of Fame, right? He was a bad guy. He's a villain. He's notoriously the worst villain in the galaxy. But is he redeemable? I think everyone's redeemable. I don't think that he deserves a free pass for killing the children, but that's kind of part of a story arc. So if you think about, there's probably 1,000,005 God of War. Everyone in this chat right now who's probably telling me I'm wrong, you've played God of War.
Yeah.
You all love to play God of War. How many people did he slaughter? How many families did he kill? But he has a son now, and everyone's like, oh, he's so good.
No, I hate
everybody has an arc, whether you lived it or you didn't live it. I don't think he's everything is just forgiven, but redeemable and forgiven are different. So anyway, I think his character is redeemable. Just because you're allowed to go through that cycle doesn't mean that you're an innocent or a hero. He's never going to be a hero. He will always be the villain.
Well, because Kylo pretty much did the same thing. He killed a whole temple of children, and people seem to have accepted his redemption.
And Han Solo.
Yeah.
What about Thanos? Everybody loves Thanos.
Thanos did murder.
I love Thanos because he's a great bad guy, not because I think he's.
Think about what you just said. He's a great bad guy.
Yeah,
but I think he's complex. Same with Anakin. I think that's why Anakin's good.
Yes, it's the same thing.
Anakin. I'm not saying you can't like somebody who's irredeemable.
A good story tells you why the and I won't even call him a villain, why the antagonist and the protagonist are both equally within their right.
Well, that's why I brought up the example. Someone did in the chat, so thank you for that, Peyton. I agree. So
Carlos.
Well, because I love Loki more than anyone because I think he's a complex, relatable character. But he murdered a lot of people in Avengers, and I'm sure some children got caught in the crossfire. So look, New York buildings were falling. I mean, I think some children probably died. So, and Loki people have seemed to accept his redemption. I mean, Anakin did it a little more aggressively, but Loki wasn't specifically targeting children.
Yeah.
But,
the way I see it is, I try to put myself in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
And if, let's just say Darth Vader survived Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
He's going to prison immediately. It doesn't matter if you killed the Emperor.
He's not even
everything you've done. You're a war criminal. Like, you're going away for life. Like, you're not. He's irredeemable in that sense. But can you understand what the character did and maybe hey, the Emperor manipulated him Is he kind of a victim in that sense? Sure,
Right.
but
Oh,
he still did it. It's kind of like it's kind of like Bucky.
We just finished talking about how this man who killed a bunch of kids, isn't he kind of a victim?
I mean, in
he
that
was
sense, he was
manipulated.
manipulated by
Yeah.
Palpatine and seduced,
Riley
right?
said it. He said
People-
he literally saved the galaxy. So what if he killed a couple of young men?
Right.
Yeah. Does 30 kids offset 30 trillion people?
Right. I
don't
mean,
know.
Thanos thought what he was doing was for the greater good. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I feel like for the
but he
sake of your
understood it
channel,
was
Will,
bad.
you should probably move on.
Thanos
I'm gonna be canceled,
understood
so.
what he was doing was bad. That's
yeah, right.
the thing.
Well, I'm not saying
It's-
he's redeemed. I'm just saying I'm asking, is he redeemable? Because we seem to accept characters who have done similar acts, and we accept it. So we like. I think Anakin people just, you know, I ran a poll. Do you like Anakin or Luke more? And it was 2-1 Anakin. So I think people just like him because he's a complex, tragic character, as Daniel put it. But I don't know. That's the question. That's why I think it's a fun conversation. But anyway, we'll move on before I get canceled.
Yeah, we could literally spend all day on that topic.
We could.
I really could. Because I feel like this is a kid. Think about his tragic kid story.
Yeah.
He was a slave. And then he was pulled out of being a slave, promised this life. And then all of a sudden he's like, no, you're not allowed to love anyone. Like,
Right.
what a trauma. You're a slave, and then your mom is taken from you, but you're not allowed to love anyone. Except
his mom,
everyone. And then your mom gets murdered by people, and you're just supposed to be okay with that and still love people. Let's be real. This is a tragic story that no regular person could ever survive. So anyone who's
but you
just
can't
Anakin,
ever justify killing kids. Like, I don't care. Like,
it's true. He's got a point.
like I said,
tragic your backstory is. You're
I'm
still
not
a
judging.
monster.
I'm not justifying it. I'm saying that is the question was, what was the exact question, Will?
Is Anakin redeemable or redeemed?
Redeemable. Think about his backstory, his come up, right? He was a good kid. He liked to race pod racers, right? He had the Force, and then these Jedi brought him in and changed him. And then, of course, his mother dies. He slaughters a bunch of kids in revenge. Like, he's redeemable. Doesn't mean he's a good guy. But his arc, you gotta have a little empathy.
So you'd let him into your house. You have him over.
Hell yes. Get the shit.
Not
off
if you have
the top
kids there. No way. He
well,
can't be
it's the
around
thing
children.
for me. Why?
Because he slaughtered them, all of them. He slaughtered.
Look,
yeah,
only the ones who had Force. Okay,
Right,
I
if
ain't got
your
no
kids have
Force
Force.
over here.
No, Darth Vader killed all kinds of people. And,
We're talking
not
about
just
Anakin.
Force
We're
even.
talking about Anakin.
Anakin, right.
Okay, they're
he's
the
Vader
same
at that
guy.
point, but
Right.
he's Anakin.
But that's a big thing, right? We're talking about Anakin versus Darth Vader because those are two different personas.
Yeah.
So that's actually a good point, and I won't go backwards. But Darth Vader and Anakin, if we're talking about two different personas,
Well, Anakin never killed anybody then, or kids.
Right.
Anakin did at the turn of his at the start of his
He was
turn.
Darth Vader then.
He was Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, right. He was Darth Vader the second he was crowned Darth Vader by Palpatine.
Yeah.
Right.
The only one I guess before was Mace. Mace would be the only one, but he didn't really kill Mace. He just cut his hand off.
So yeah, Palpatine killed Mace.
Yeah.
Natalie G likes the bad boys. Girls. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Either or.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting
Supreme
conversation.
I know we'll go back to it. But X-Men Supreme $5 super chat. Thank you so much, bro. He said, I'm with the pup. I spent the last 4 years in the Midwest and I got a lot of gray that I didn't have prior. I guess it's something over in the water over there, bro. Yeah, it must be that. X-Men Supreme, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you for that, man. That's very generous of you. We have a couple other super chats to get to. I think it was Nick actually was the next one. Nick, and of course, dropped the crazy super chat. Let's get to that one. Give me 1 sec. Let's pull it up here. So Nick's Collectibles, thanks so much, bro. Yo, hold up. So if Anakin is a Force ghost now, what was the interaction between him and the children he killed in Force Heaven like? Dude.
There's no that's not everyone becomes a Force ghost.
The children probably never developed their Force powers to even get that far. So Anakin
only
Qui-Gon's
the only one that figured it out, and that's how Obi-Wan learned how to do it, and Yoda.
Well, Anakin basically sent them to Force Hell because he never let them develop far enough. He killed them. So you know,
they had to meditate and train and learn how to do that.
Right.
I don't know how Vader learned, no idea, or Anakin rather.
Right.
But yeah, remember Yoda tells Obi-Wan at the end of episode 3 that Qui-Gon has gotten in touch with him through the Force.
Right.
And that Obi-Wan needs to go to Tatooine and learn how to do it.
Right.
Yeah, it's not everyone just becomes a Force ghost.
Right. Makes sense. Well, thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate you, bro. Hopefully you get that pizza scooter. Guys, we are going to wrap it with one more topic for the evening. And I want to ask the question here. I want to ask just to be a fun discussion. We want to get the chat involved too. So chat, let us know in the comments below the most surprising hot toy that is yet to have been made. And I just want to ask people like something that I think is realistic. If you're going to say something like, oh, like maybe the Knight of Ren or Corvus Glaive, like, I mean, I guess I could see that kind of. I mean, I would love that. I would buy both of those, but it's not something that I think would be the most realistic thing, even though they did tease Corvus at one point. I want to give up an example here because I thought this film still did pretty well. And I thought this character was really great. I'm shocked by this one. I'm still surprised that a Namor, whatever you want to call him, has still not been announced. Maybe because it was the difficulty of making this figure because it would require a fully seamless body. And they thought, are people really going to buy this enough for this to be a worthy investment? That's probably what's happening here because I thought this character was awesome. I thought the film was good. I liked it, but Namor was amazing. And I would love to have seen him. So to me, that would be my answer. But Natalie, what do you think? I mean, what's the most surprising character that you think hasn't been made into a hot toy so far?
This one actually is really good. So I think the most surprising is probably something I was thinking different. So just looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, well, something that they already have a license for, that's probably why it'd be most surprising. But for me, I think the most surprising is that they haven't tapped into video games.
Okay.
Like video games, if you think about the collector base, and I'm sure everyone who is in this stream right now plays video games. I play video games. Everybody plays video games. Yeah. God of War is one of the, like Mondo had to step in and do it.
They did.
I joke around all the time about how much I love Arthur Morgan, but Red Dead Redemption, that's probably not like the most action figure type of character, but you think about Last of Us, you think about Red Dead, they did Spider-Man, but I think that's only because they had Marvel. I just think video game character is enormous. Like God of War would have been one of their best selling figures. They could have made that seamless. They did it with, oh my goodness. No. They did it with the Ahsoka show, right? So Ahsoka being fully seamless, I'm not saying that it had to be fully like super articulated, but they could have done at least the one shoulder fully seamless. I think God of War, really just video games in general, is probably the biggest thing that they've never done. And I really don't know why. And it's probably has a lot to do with the price of the license. But if you think about how much they pay for Marvel, like that's probably just a drop in the bucket compared to what they pay for Marvel. And I know for a fact, everybody that I know who collects plays video games. Dean, you play video games. I mean, everything you were just talking about, Cloud, that's all PlayStation. Will, you play video games?
Yep.
I can't imagine a single person who's in this chat right now who does not play video games. I think it's a huge untapped market. It's probably something they need to visit. Yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, what do you think, Dean? I mean, what character do you think has been surprising that hasn't been made so far? But now that you're on something with video games.
Yeah.
I am honestly shocked that we haven't gotten the General Grievous. They already did episode 3 figures, right? We saw Anakin twice, now 3 times. Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, Commander Cody. I mean, they were knocking out prequel trilogy figures. I want to say they started with episode 3. They might have done a Darth Maul before and Qui-Gon, but I don't remember. I think those came out after. So I'm shocked that General Grievous never popped up in all that time or since. And we know it's not because of Sideshow, because they do competing figures together all the time. They did the Jedi Luke at the same time. I think they did what was the other one they did at the same time? Maybe it was
I don't know. I mean, yeah, C-3PO now, but that took years. Sideshow had theirs out for a while.
Yeah. There was another one kind of around the same time where I was like, oh, Sideshow's doing one too. That's weird. Right. But yeah, it's strange to me that, I mean, he's such a big part of that movie.
And a cool looking character.
and a cool looking character. And it's even weirder now because he's in a ton of Clone Wars episodes and they're doing Clone Wars figures.
Yeah.
That could be an option for them. Maybe they label it Clone Wars at some point and they do that.
I mean, he really looks exactly. I mean, obviously the character model looks different, but
right.
He looks the same. He's got the cape and the sabers and the arms, and like you don't have to change it at all. So yeah, I think that's super strange.
Yeah, it's funny, Dean, that you say that because Ty, her absolute favorite Star Wars character of all time is General Grievous. She's like this.
So cool.
Yeah, she's like, this guy's such a badass with his weird little arms. Like, she obviously doesn't watch the story the way that I do, but like every time he comes up on the screen, she stops and she's watching. And so I feel like this is like a universally known character, even if you don't care much about him. So
it's a whole meme culture now.
Oh, dude, 100%.
For sure. And he's kind of, I wonder if it's because he's kind of thin and like he's not heavy. Maybe it's because like at the end of like production, but no, because even the battle droid was super thin and flimsy. Like I feel like they made that. Why wouldn't they make this? It's got to be a Sideshow partnership. It's got to be because of that.
Yeah, maybe because I mean, again, if you're going to make a die cast or the joint's going to be too heavy, like how does it work? I think this is a difficult figure to make.
I think they could figure that out. I think it's a Sideshow thing. I think it's because Sideshow has it.
Yeah.
Sideshow, I mean, you can work with that one and make it look good, but it's a little bit of a challenge from what I've heard.
I had the first version of that figure with none of the problems, and that was a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Much less the second one that came out with broken.
Like doesn't Sideshow and Hot Toys have this like codependency relationship? And I feel like if something is actively out in stock, they are probably not going to make a figure for it until Sideshow is done making it.
Maybe, but again, like I said, we saw Jedi Luke literally at the same time. It was like Sideshow's coming out with this when Hot Toys is. That's a big mistake.
Right.
It was. That figure was not well received.
And you might, I guess, maybe do something different, like because it was a different time. But Hot Toys did the Book of Boba Fett Cad Bane, and now Sideshow's doing the animated Cad Bane, and so they're just different. The same character but different iteration. So but anyway, guys, we got a super chat from X-Men Supreme. Thank you so much, bro. LOL. Hannah Montana decimates the entire country. Miley's cool though. Did she? Did she decimate the entire country? Did she do that? I don't think I watched Hannah Montana. Did anyone here watch Hannah Montana? I can't verify the claims.
I was too old.
Yeah. I watched Lizzie McGuire though. I watched the shit out of Lizzie McGuire back in the day. Dude, Lizzie McGuire was the shit. I don't care what anyone says.
Same.
But thank you so much, X-Men Supreme, bro. You're gonna have to clarify that statement though, because I don't know shit about Miley Cyrus or Hannah Montana. But I do trust you, bro. I trust you. But yeah, guys, we are going to wrap it there. We are right around 7:00. So thank you so much for joining us this fine Friday evening. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for engaging in the chat and being awesome. And of course, dropping your figures that you want to see in the chat below. We got one more super chat. This was for Natalie from Carlos. Natalie, can I see your Thor up close?
Which one?
Which one, Carlos? Which one? You're gonna have to.
The Road-worn Thor?
I'm assuming it's the Gladiator Thor because that's the
Gladiator
one I can see.
Thor.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's that.
Why? So that you can try and pitch me a price and then resell it? Get out of here.
That's probably going to be what it is.
Get out of here.
Wow.
No, I've actually sold Carlos a couple of figures and then I feel like he like instantly resold them. So now you're done. You're banned.
Yeah, right. You're banned from the shop, Carlos. You're banned from the Natalie G store.
I still like you, but you're banned.
Yeah, you're banned officially from the shop. But we got also thanks so much, Carlos, for the super chat, bro. But so we got a comment too from Hot Stories Masterpiece. I saw this one actually on the topic we just had about Snoke. I think it might be too late for Snoke, but I think Snoke would have been cool. I think that would have been cool. Dean wouldn't have liked it, but I think it would have been cool. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. Natalie, when's the YouTube channel coming? The people want to know.
This is the YouTube channel. There is no other. I would never be a competing channel with this one because this is the only one worth watching.
Really? That's
wow. Okay, I'm sitting right here.
That's my praise. Collecting Weekly is pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, Dean, he paid me money right before.
Yeah, only a little.
You weren't there. I don't know.
Only a little.
No.
Dean,
you're getting paid for this?
A small. Exactly.
No,
now you ruined my leverage with Dean because now I got to pay Dean too. So,
my bad. No, I don't. honestly, I don't really have any time or effort to do any of that. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to join in. So, now that I know Dean, maybe I'll join you every once in a while. But
Yeah.
I just enjoy joining every once in a while to different streams. So that's probably about as much as you'll get from me.
Nice. Well, we're happy to have you. And
wait, just dress skimpy? What the hell? What is? First of all, anyone who knows me knows this is the skimpiest. This is the skimpiest you're gonna get. All right.
That's true, though. It's what Dean does. That's what he clarified. So it's true.
Right.
Dean does show a little bit of skin too. So yeah,
Right.
But it is true. I mean, honestly, guys will sub for that. So it is. He is being honest. So,
I'm gonna show. There's my neck.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need. But thanks so much for joining Nat G as always. And Dean the Dream, bro, what's coming up on Collecting Week? I know y'all got some fire. Y'all gonna be playing some Red Dead Redemption or something and stealing bucks and all that shit. What's going on over there, dude? I think you're muted, Dean, still.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're still muted. You're never going to be unmuted, bro. Not on this channel. It's because now I have to pay you. And every time you talk, I have to pay you money. So I think he's still muted, isn't he, Natalie?
Yes, he definitely. I think he's doing it on purpose.
I think he's doing it on purpose, too, because he doesn't want to talk about Collecting Weekly because you insulted them and said that this is the only channel worth watching. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was on mute. Holy shit.
You were on mute the whole time, bro. Fucking rookie, dude.
It was really funny because I started talking and then I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was on mute. And then
you were just still muted the whole time.
That was hilarious. I was on mute. Okay. Yeah, we got just another Friday night tonight. I think we're out this weekend. I don't think we have Dungeons and Dragons, but we might for Saturday. If not, we're going to be off. Monday, we have an unboxing. I don't know what we're going to unbox. But we usually unbox something.
He said we're going to unbox. I don't know.
See?
Yeah,
that's what Dean does. He's the sex appeal. That's why he's here. So he knows.
Yeah. And then Tuesday, we got the main show. We talk about news, kind of like tonight, and collecting discussions. Wednesday night, we have After Dark. We just shoot the shit, talk about our weeks, our trials, our tribulations, whatever we got going on. We just hang out. And then Thursday we got OFAC with the British correspondents across the pond, and they talk about hot toys collecting in the UK. So yeah, it's a full week of content for you guys, except Saturday and Sunday, I guess.
Right. That sounds great, man. Collecting Weekly always has some amazing stuff over there, so check them out for sure. And we got one final super chat. Someone dropped a super chat. I think it was Night Call. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate that. You guys have been super generous this evening, so I appreciate that. Night Call said, buy yourself a quesadilla with the super chat. Bro, I ain't had a quesadilla in a minute, but I will if you want me to.
I don't think you've ever had a real quesadilla.
What, a Texas quesadilla is different?
I mean, they probably just taste infinitely better though.
No, because I'll literally fucking die. My insides will explode. So yeah, I can't eat that shit. So like when I was younger, I used to be able to eat that. I used to have like more of an iron stomach. Nowadays, I have like a mush stomach, dude. I can't eat anything like that.
Oh no.
There's a lot of chicken and kale and arugula in my diet. So yeah, I'm very careful with that. So
that was the most boring thing you've ever said. We're just gonna
Natalie. So last question before we go, and this is open to the chat too. Have you guys ever eaten tacos with mayo on them?
No. Oh, who the fuck does that?
Me, dude. Like,
oh my God, I want to say something, but I'll get canceled.
Yeah, don't get yourself canceled.
It's okay. He's white. You can say.
Yeah, I'm white.
That's what I was gonna say. That's such a white person thing to do. Like
that's what I heard.
It's cheese. You got to do queso, right? What?
Yeah, well, so like you could still use sour cream, not together, but like mayo is a good way to get calories. And like I don't understand the disdain for this because people eat mayo on a cheeseburger sub all the time.
Skinny person problem. This is a skinny person problem. It's a way to get calories. I'll tell you how to get calories.
People eat mayo more times than once a day all the time, but yet in a taco, it's unheard of. I don't understand. People do that.
Oh my God. All right. Paulie P says I'm white, and even that was way too white for me. Thank you, Paulie. Paulie wins the night. That's all I have to say.
Well, it's like I like a little spice in my tacos. So I put mayo on
it. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'll try.
Hey, Dean. That's what they say to me all the time.
There you go.
Wow.
And have a good night.
Natalie is going to cancel herself at this point. So anyway, guys, see, look, tacos with mayo and Tijuana Mex is normal. See,
Let's
fucking go, dude. Let's go. See, I knew it would be good. Someone asked about hard shell though. No, this would be soft shell. Soft shell.
I mean, maybe like mayo and elote if you don't have butter.
Right.
See, now we're talking.
Yeah, but
That
I
could
don't know.
work. I mean, give it a try. Don't knock it till you tried it. So,
what kind of taco? Wait. What kind of taco?
Beef tacos. Like it would be. Yeah, it would be like
crumbled beef, like a
like ground beef.
Taco?
Like you cook it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And we got one more super chat from Nightcall. Thank you so much for saving me, bro. Tacos with mayo sauce and Tijuana Max is normal. Let's go. Thanks so much.
He's so white he can't even pronounce
it.
It's true though. It's true. CC9333 Thorn has a point. That's a very valid point. It's Tijuana, right?
That's not Tijuana.
Yes, it is.
I thought there's an A before.
See, Dean can't pronounce it either.
Okay, but we know what we're saying, right?
I mean, I don't know what's going on, but we're just gonna end it there. So because I have no idea. So mayo with Elite C. All I needed was one. But check it out, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you still watch this channel next week. And have a good rest of your Friday and of course a good weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. See you later. Bye.